Welcome everybody to our Networking at Noon. Tiffanie Kellog here. So very excited to be here with you today. Not only because it's Networking at Noon, but because this is the first time I just got my computer back after it having a virus for 2 days, being down. I was like, oh my gosh, this is killing me. I was using my husband's like retro, super old computer, wouldn't work with a microphone. And I was like all worried, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do for Networking at Noon? And whew, thank you, CRT Computers. Got it taken care of, picked it up at like 10, all ready to go for the rest of the afternoon. Now, the funny thing is then I have no more Zoom or anything on the computer actually till Tuesday of next week, but that's just how life goes. And so welcome. I am joined here today by Jenn Possick. I am super, super excited to have her here to talk about networking with us. And she's not necessarily, she does networking, the networking that we typically talk about, but she also does a lot on Facebook and with Instagram and using ads and really being able to do your business that way. So Jenn, can you tell us a little bit about what you do, please?
Yeah, of course. So I work with a lot of coaches and online course creators and online business owners in general to help them grow their email lists and fill their webinars, workshops, online challenges with Facebook and Instagram ads.
So now I know there's one thing that you're very passionate about when it comes to Facebook ads that you tell people all the time, and hopefully you know what I'm talking about.
I have a guess because it's I see people make a lot of mistakes, but the one thing that I see people do probably more than anything is I see so many people boosting posts, and 95% of the time boosting posts just wastes your money. So I almost never recommend pressing that little boost post button.
If it doesn't work 95% of the time, why is it even an option?
Because Facebook makes it so easy and they get your money. So let me go into it a little bit.
To boost a post, right?
Say that again.
There's a right way to boost a post.
Yes, there is. So essentially, Facebook's algorithm is brilliant. It knows way too much about us. And the best part of it for us as business owners, as advertisers, is it knows how we use Facebook. So it knows who's most likely to scroll, who's most likely to engage with a post, which Facebook counts as likes, comments, clicks, and shares, but mostly it's like reactions on the post. It knows who's most likely to click, and it knows who's most likely to actually convert into a lead or a sale, like who's most likely to sign up for your email list. So when we are running ads, we can say, hey, I want you to look at my audience that I have, and I want you to run the ad for those people only that are most likely to actually sign up and convert into a lead. So when we do this correctly, we're doing it at the ads manager section, and we're doing it at the campaign level, and we set it up for conversions. 90% of the ads that I run for myself, for my clients, that I help my students run are going to be ads for conversions. When you boost a post, you are not given the option to run it for conversions. So when you boost a post, mostly you're running it for post engagement, which again, people liking the post, but that's cool and all if you want to like grow an audience, if you just want to make sure that they watch a video or you want as many people as possible to like your post, that's fine. The other options it gives you are for Messenger. So start a conversation inside Facebook Messenger, or video views. So watch your video. Basically, when you're boosting a post, all the options that Facebook is doing are things designed to keep people on Facebook. But we don't want them to stay on Facebook. We don't own Facebook. We want them to go onto our own platforms that we do own, that we have more control over. We want to get them on our email list so that we can email them on a regular basis whenever we want, and not just hope that they see posts that we make from our business page that are seen by almost nobody.
Yeah, it does seem like we're not seeing as much anymore.
It's so that's kind of how it goes.
And you mentioned the email list, and I know you kind of had something scary happen to you last year. Can you kind of share why that email list is important? Because what happened?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I was in one of my clients' ad accounts. I was, just doing what I do. And all of a sudden Facebook said, hey, we need you to verify your account. And so I was like, great, that'll take 2 seconds. And then they said, now we need your ID. And so I'm like, okay. So I sent in my ID, and then my whole Facebook personal page totally disappeared. And like, thank goodness I had stuff set up like on my wife's account so that I could still go into like the groups that I have for like my membership and still had access to my business page. But I didn't have access to my Messenger, which, honestly, I do talk to some clients through Messenger. It's just like the easiest way. I didn't have, like, it was like I just totally disappeared. And that actually that's happened to several friends of mine over the last year as well. And for myself, luckily, I got my account back in 24 hours. For another friend, it took like 2 weeks.
Oof.
So yeah, the thing is, like, we don't own Facebook. We don't own any social media platform. It can go away. I've known people who've lost their Facebook groups. I've known people who've lost their business pages. Any of that can go away at any time, but we do own our email list. And so even though, like, yes, there's sometimes issues with email deliverability, not everybody's going to open your email, but you can say with 90+% certainty, when you send out an email to your list, it's going to your list. Like, people who have raised their hand, they've signed up, like, they're going to get your emails. So I'm a huge fan of emailing your list on a regular basis and doing what you can to grow your email list so that you have a way to contact your people regularly.
Yeah. And I think staying in touch is really important. Out of sight, out of mind. So,
absolutely.
So why is it that you do this? Like, what's kind of your why? What drives you?
Ooh, that's a really good question. So I think at the heart of it, I mean, I kind of like stumbled into all of this, and I kind of found that like, I ultimately, with like Facebook and Instagram ads, like, I love it. There's something about it. I get it. I love it. I used to teach elementary school, and I loved teaching. And I love that now I am still able to teach and get that part of it in. That feels very fulfilling for me. But ultimately, like, my clients are out there changing the world. Like, they are, again, like, I work with so many different types of coaches and course creators. Like, they're just making such an amazing impact on the world. And by helping them run ads, I'm helping them to reach more people. And I kind of feel like that's my way of getting to like help change the world as well. So yeah.
That's awesome. Super cool. So you like to change the world, and you're helping people with, their Facebook and their Instagram when you're not like making such a huge impact. What do you like to do for fun?
So we live very close to the beach. I like to go for walks on the beach very often.
How close do you live to the beach?
We're like less than 2 miles. So sometimes I'll ride my bike. Sometimes I'll just drive down. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of going to the beach as often as I can. I used to play roller derby. So I really like roller skating, like just going skating in the park. Like, yeah. I'm a big reader. I like hanging out with our dogs. We've got 4 dogs. They're a mess. But yeah. Yeah.
So, like, my husband says reading does not count as fun.
Oh, that is not even true. Reading absolutely counts as fun.
I love to read. What kind of stuff are you reading lately?
Actually, so typically when I'm reading, I like reading fiction books. Actually, a friend of mine that I went to high school with just came out with, I really like dystopian society, like young adult books. Mm-hmm. And she just came out with a book called Fragile Remedy that I'm reading right now. So that's fun. And then also,
well, give it a plug. I mean, you went to high school with her, you knew her.
I know.
What's her name and the book again? Like,
yeah. Okay. So Fragile Remedy by Maria Ingrande Mora. Which is very exciting. And then the other one that I'm currently reading is not fiction, but it's Rich as Fuck by Amanda Frances. This one is good. It's got so many like journaling prompts, and like, I feel like I'm always working on money mindset stuff because that makes a difference.
Yes.
So yeah.
Gotcha. So now we met a couple of years ago when you were doing the Asentiv Ignite Your Business. I think it was one of the last full series that we did in person because it was January of 2020.
Yeah.
It was a couple of us, 3 days. It was a very unique session because we actually went ice skating for lunch. one of the days because it's around the corner. How does ice skating compare to roller skating?
It's different. So I actually, still to this day, I've never been rollerblading. And like roller derby's done on roller skates. And so because ice skating is just a single blade, it's different. It's, yeah, similar, but still different.
Yeah, I think the blade's like an eighth of an inch or something.
It's like the way that you move it's where your balance is how it's just different. I don't know.
Anyway, so Jenn was with us within the last in-person Ignite Your Businesses. I am excited. It'll probably be 2022, but we will have more in-person 3-day programs. Though my husband decided last night that there are going to be retreats. So I'm like, I'm good with that.
That actually makes a lot of sense because the 3-day, so I took Ignite Your Business twice, once in January as the 3-day, and then once later on last year as the however many weeks it is.
Yeah.
So sorry. Is it 10?
10. Yeah.
Okay. As the 10-week. And I really appreciated both were good for totally different reasons, but I really liked the intensiveness of the 3 days where it just kind of forced you to really get into it. And I carpooled there with my friend Heather, and that just we just had really deep discussions about what we had worked on in class. And so yeah, I as a retreat totally makes sense.
Yeah. So what have you created for yourself and your business and your world as a result of doing the Ignite Your Business program?
Yeah. So I have 3 different ways that I work with people. I have done for you services, done with you services. Those are both one-on-one. And then I have a online membership. With the done with you and done for you services, those mostly come through referrals. And I was doing good. I was bringing in referrals for sure. But since then, the referrals that I've gotten are just amazing. And it's just increased my referrals so much. And it's pretty much tripled my business. Yeah. So
and now
tripled my business.
For people that know me, know I'm all about helping people make more money, more time, have more fun. So it sounds like tripling the business, we definitely hit the more money. Yes. But you did something fun last year, or you bought something fun last year.
We did. So actually, in September, we rented a camper, a travel trailer, and took it across the country and back. And then we really enjoyed it so much. So we bought one in November. So that's definitely a lot of fun. I don't know. It's kind of funny. The more time part is not necessarily true for me. I have been very full on, lots of client calls, just back to back to back, but I also really enjoy them. So it's not I get my clients are freaking awesome. So it's I enjoy it, but I do also have to manage my time well. But yeah, definitely more fun and more money. Yeah.
Hey, different strokes for different folks, totally works. Awesome. So I have a question.
Yeah.
So how would you answer how to successfully market your business on social media?
Yeah. So, there's the organic side of it. And when I say organic, that just means non-paying side of it. But then there's also the ad side of it. So I'm going to speak more to the ad side of it because that's really where my strengths are. I think for one, you have to have a strategy that works. And again, I'm a big fan of growing your email list. If you're giving webinars, workshops, online challenges, I'm a big fan of promoting those and making sure that you are doing. I'm a big fan of before you put money behind ads, make sure that you're testing it organically, making sure that that is bringing people in, it's aligned with your business, but essentially running ads taking somebody to a landing page to sign up for your email list. After they've signed up, it takes them to a thank you page, and then they're going to get an email welcome series for it. I think that's like really, truly like the best way that you can utilize social media to take people from social into your own world. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to remember the name of the one that I do.
Oh, you were in Launch Fuel.
Launch Fuel, yes.
Yeah.
And that was, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, yeah, I've got to get my funnel and my stuff in line, because it doesn't do any good to like get a ton of people signed up if it's not working.
Yep. Exactly.
So that I've been working on that. Eric actually just got me some videos for my thing, so I'm like super excited. Eric Bunch, he was on here a couple of months ago for y'all out there in our Facebook world, to update that, so then I can make sure everything's working. So then I can, what I love about Jenn, it's like, here's the format, here's how you say it, here's like the pieces that go into it, here's what so it's like a check. I don't know that it's technically a checklist, but there's like, here's all these templates. And I love it when things are easy. My gosh, I don't want to recreate the wheel. So it's like, oh, here are the 5 parts. Boom, 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 boom.
Well, and the cool thing is I am also a fan of like, I don't think every style works exactly for every business. It's figuring out, like taking pieces of it and figuring it out for your own business. But that formula for it, like you do have to have like those same pieces in place. For sometimes they just look a little bit different, but yeah, having those same pieces in place, I think really helps. And yeah, I'm also a fan of making it as easy as possible, because I know everything with funnels and online marketing can be very complex, but I don't think it has to be. Yeah.
So I know you mentioned earlier the type of people that you work with, but can you remind us again, really kind of what's your specialty, the type of folks that you like to work with?
Yeah, so I work with a lot of coaches. So life coaches, business coaches, mindset coaches, any type of coaches I work a lot with, online course creators, and then also like any type of like online business owner as well, where you're providing services and programs for people. Yeah.
Gotcha. So if people are trying to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Yeah, so easiest is probably just to go to my website, jennpossick.com. On there's links where if you want to schedule a consultation, I'm happy to do that. There's also, I've got some freebies on there. So I have a free quiz that I recently updated about Facebook ads in your business are like what Schitt's Creek relationship, which is so fun. A little less fun if you have not watched Schitt's Creek.
I haven't taken the quiz yet, because I watched the first 2 episodes or the first episode, and I just
you got to keep going, because the characters start off as they're not good people, but they evolve and they become good people, and they like, it's so good.
And I've had that happen to me a couple of times. Like I'll start 1 or 2 episodes and I'm like, I'm trying to think one that we started and it took us a while, but then we like totally fell in love with it. Now it's not coming to me. But yeah, sometimes it's like, let me come back 6 months later and try again.
I've heard a lot of people be that way about Schitt's Creek. My wife was that way about Parks and Rec. She was also that way about The Office. It's like all those comedies that are a little like irreverent, but that's totally my style.
First season of The Office, my husband played like while I was reading. And by season 2, I guess I started to pay a little bit of attention. And then I was like, in the last couple seasons, not as good.
Well,
but yeah, that typically happens. They're like, yes, we want to hang around.
I know. Oh man, it's so hard right now being a fan of The Walking Dead, where it's like we're just watching to get through them.
I haven't watched, I've watched the first 2 or 3 episodes this season, and the rest of them are on my DVR, and I'm just like,
they've not been. We've invested so much. Like we have gone to all the
now?
To what?
It's like 10 seasons now.
Yeah, something like that. And we've gone to like all the nerd conventions and the Walker Stalker cons, and we've gone to where they film multiple times. Like we're invested, so we're like, we just have to watch because we have to. But yeah.
Yeah, and there's been once or twice. Like it's funny when you watch the shows, and it's like I can't remember exactly. I think it was like governor stuff, like in season 2 or 3 or 4. And I was like, okay, these episodes could hurry up. I remember watching the show House, and there was like when it was the episodes with the cop and they were like looking into the drugs. I'm like, okay, we could just skip this part. Like sometimes it seems like, and that does seem like that's what it is right now.
It absolutely is. It's like keeps going into like backstories, and the episodes are very long and slow and boring. Even when it's like my favorite characters, it's like I just don't even. Yeah.
Like come on, let's get back going. Oh well, that's what happens. All right, so we got. I know. I'm like, my husband doesn't even try and watch The Walking Dead with me anymore.
I get it.
Yeah. Maybe it'll get better. Who knows? All right. So I think last two questions for you is one thing that you would like to leave the watchers, the listeners with, one tip. And then if you got something else, then I'll ask what your favorite brew is. I can ask what your favorite brew is, and then we can.
No, I mean, I think like the biggest tips for when it comes to Facebook and Instagram, don't boost posts is like number one. Make sure that you've got some type of a strategy for growing your email list. If it's like a lead magnet, a webinar, some type of strategy, test it organically before you put money behind ads. Also, make sure that you figure out the iOS stuff, because Facebook and Apple have been fighting over privacy stuff. And so with that, there's some things that you have to be able to do in order to run ads now that you did not have to do just a few months ago. I actually have a video on my Facebook business page, if it's just at Jenn Possick, that goes over how to verify your domain, how to create the aggregated events. That would be worthwhile for watching if you're going to be running ads too. Yeah.
And what's your favorite brew?
Yeah, so I am not a beer drinker. I've just never really been a fan. I do like,
but it can be anything brewed. So beer, liquor, wine is not beer, liquor, tea, coffee, kombucha. Those are 5 brews.
So I'm definitely a tea drinker. I actually have some tea right now, which is my country peach passion. But I'm a fan of most teas. I do like kombucha too. There's this one Live brand has a root beer kombucha that is delicious. Like, it's amazing. Yeah.
I went last month, the month before, to a kombucha brewery.
Oh, that's fun.
So it's down in Tampa Heights. It's right next to Hidden Springs Brewery. So we were like going from one brewery to the next, but there's a kombucha brewery in between. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is super excited. So yeah, it's a whole,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen people making kombucha, but in like little jars in their home, and it looks disgusting. Mm-hmm. That would be really cool to see kombucha being made.
Yeah. Well, thank you so very much, Jenn. So appreciate you being here with us today. Y'all out there, be sure to go like her page, follow her, watch the videos, sign up for some of her free stuff, or get on her list and she'll tell you about the paid stuff like that I'm doing to help make sure that I can get it done right. And you can do it yourself. You can do it with her. You can do it for you. So you got lots of different ways to work with Jenn.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Always fun to chat. See you soon.